What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I am finally going to be showing you guys how I make my wigs, and I'm going to show you guys two different parts. So this video is split into two. I was going to do it all in one, but I felt like it would have been just too much information just crammed up in one video, so I was like, I'll just split it up into two. So this first part is going to be how I make my wig from start to finish, and my technique and everything. I actually got it from Arnell. I don't know if you guys watch her here on YouTube. She has amazing videos, both beauty and hair related. I'm gonna have her video listed down below in the description box, but I got my method from her. She just lays all of her wigs. She makes her wigs, all of them, look bomb. So yeah, I'm going to show you all that good stuff, and then in the second part of the video I'm going to show you how I curl my hair, how I lay my closure, how I pluck my closure, how I make basically the wig look a little bit more realistic. This is just how I make my wigs. You can totally do it a different way if you don't like this method. This is just how I do it and how it's easier on me. I'm also not a professional wig maker. This is just honestly how I learned how to make my wigs, and I've gotten a few questions on how I do it, so this is me showing you how I do it. Before we jump into the video, if you aren't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to subscribe and also to hit that notification button, the little bell right next to the subscribe button. Make sure to click that so you can get notified and so you don't miss out on any future videos that I upload. So now let's go ahead and jump right into the tutorial. To begin with, I always use this Salon Care wig stand. It just makes everything a lot easier. It makes my life easier while I'm making my wigs. And then I have a styrofoam head that I wrapped tape around because my head's a little bit bigger than the styrofoam head, so I had to kind of make it work. There's a lot of videos on YouTube on how to do this if your foam head is too small, and then I just use a dome cap and I place that on my foam head. Pretty basic stuff. And then here you can see that there are like two lines on top of the dome cap. I kind of use these as a guideline when applying my closure onto my dome cap. So here's my closure. I'm gonna give more hair details in the second part of this video, but this hair right here is from Unice Hair, and the hair, oh my god, you guys, honestly this is probably one of the best companies that I've tried from AliExpress, but I'll give you more details in a bit. So as you can see, I lined the edge of the closure with the line on the dome cap, and then I just pinned it down, and then I grabbed the other side of the closure and pin it down. I just pin it down all the way around the closure because I want it to be secure and I don't want it to move. And the pins that I use, I honestly just got these at Walmart. You can use the T-pins, or you can just use any pins that are gonna hold your closure onto your dome cap. Once I finish securing that closure, I just wrap it in a bun to make sure that the hair doesn't get in my way while I'm sewing down my closure. And I also put some of the pins in the front of the closure just so it doesn't lift. It just kind of like locks the closure down. And then a needle and thread. I got the thread from my local beauty supply store from Sally's. It's a little bit thicker than normal sewing thread, so it's a little more durable. After putting the thread in my needle, I do tie a knot at the end because I want to make sure that it doesn't slip out. And when I first go in with the needle, I go in about halfway, and then I wrap my thread around the needle twice, and this kind of creates like a knot before continuing on with sewing. I like to do this in the beginning and the end of my closure just because, again, I feel like it's gonna make it a lot more secure, and I don't want my closure to unravel after a few days or a few weeks. And the rest is pretty self-explanatory. I just put the needle from underneath through the dome cap, through the closure. I wrap my thread once around the needle, and then I just keep it going. You can just sew it like normal. If you don't want to wrap your thread around the needle, you can totally just keep going. I just do this again for my own sake and just so I know that the closure is not gonna unravel. And then once we get to the end, again, put the needle about halfway, wrap the thread around twice, and then we're basically done with the closure. So from here, I'm gonna go ahead and start applying my bundles. I wanted to show you how much hair you get in one bundle. This hair is super soft, you guys, and it does not tangle. I ran my fingers across this so many times and it was very smooth. Didn't get any shedding when I first opened the bags. I did cut the wefts. You're gonna see that when I'm applying the wefts onto my dome cap. So I got shedding afterward, but that's pretty obvious because I cut the wefts. But this texture is really nice. I got the Brazilian body wave. It's probably my favorite type of hair to get. The texture before washing it is pretty. The texture after washing it is pretty. The texture when it's curled is pretty. It's just really nice hair to get. So what I'm gonna do to apply the bundles onto my dome cap, I measure all the way around from one side of the closure to the other. Once I get a feel for how long it is, I go ahead and cut off that part, and I use my Proclaim Super Bond hair glue in dark, and I put this all the way across. And I do have a blow dryer on hand. I don't know if you guys can see it right there on the corner, but I have a blow dryer just because I'm very impatient. So I have a blow dryer on hand, especially if you are in a rush to make your wig. So all I do is I put the blow dryer on there for a few seconds, and then as you can see here, the glue is semi-dry, and then I go ahead and place it onto my dome cap. And that's basically all you have to do for the rest of the cap until you get to the top. And when we get to the top, I'll show you what I do there. So once I have the first row of hair on there, I go ahead and press it down just to make sure it is sealed. And then I run my blow dryer through it just one more time because I really want to make sure that the hair is not going to come off. And we're pretty much going to continue this all the way up until the top until we're almost finished. So once I get to about this area here, I start to cut the wefts a little bit shorter. I don't continue with the U shape. Well, I kind of do, but I cut a weft just so it kind of goes across. You guys will see right now. So you can see here, I just put it across rather than wrapping it all the way around. I do it on this side, and then I also do it on the other side. And then once I finish doing the other side, I cut the pieces even smaller, but you'll see right now. So here you can see I'm applying even smaller wefts. So I just measure my wefts to see how wide that little area is. And I just glue the tracks going the opposite way that I applied the wefts before this. The first time I made a wig like this, I realized that my hair laid a lot more flat. And plus this method is just a lot easier and a lot faster as well. So once we finish applying those little rows of hair, we're basically done making the wig. So you can go ahead and take off the little bun you put on top from your closure, and you can brush the hair out, and you can kind of figure out how you want to style it, or you can just wait until you apply the wig onto your head to style. But here is how the wig looks now that we have completed it, and of course before styling. So make sure to check out part 2 of this video if you want to see how I put on this wig and how I styled it as well.